Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In Matthew chapter 12, starting in verse 43, it says, "Now when the unclean spirit goes out of a man, it passes through waterless places, seeking rest, and does not find it. Then it says, I will return to my house from which I came, and when it comes, it finds it unoccupied, swept, and put in order. Then it goes and takes along with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and they go in and live there. And the last state of that man becomes worse than the first. That is the way it will also be with this evil generation." So Jesus is using an example of a person who had a demon cast out, and Jesus had cast out many demons. And of course, he knows what happens when a demon is cast out. He says that demon leaves and he passes through waterless places. He enters into an unpleasant situation in which he wants to then return back to the house. And he goes back to the person that he was cast out of, and gets to looking around and he sees, this person is unoccupied and swept and put in order, using the metaphor of a house. And then he says that he then takes with him other evil spirits more wicked than himself. And then they go in and dwell in this individual. And of course, that state is a lot worse than the original state of just having one demon dwelling there. And Jesus relates this to the evil generation that he was speaking to. The Jews, if you're talking about it as a whole, they had the demons cast out in the sense that they were cured of their idol worship. They were, by the time Jesus came along, they had already been swept and in order. They had already gone back to the law, and they were trying to keep the law. Sometimes they went a little bit too far and began adding in man-made traditions, but nonetheless, they were striving to please God for the most part. However, they remained unoccupied in the sense that when Jesus came to speak to them, they didn't accept him. They didn't allow Jesus into their lives and into their hearts, so that they could, in a more permanent state, be given over to God. But Jesus is saying, because you're not accepting me and my message, it's going to be worse for you than it was way back in the day when you guys were serving idols and things like that. And so that's basically the point that Jesus seems to be making here. But as we take it personally and we apply it to our own lives personally, we can see that this is true. We might experience the same thing. We might experience a great deliverance by God. When we come to Christ, of course, we find deliverance from sin. We are no longer under the bondage of Satan, no longer walking according to the course of this world. And we are freed from those things that once entangled us. And the Lord provides us forgiveness and a cleansing that takes place. However, we have to be very careful that we don't allow the place to be unoccupied, that we don't leave it as it is, but that we each and every day turn to the Lord and invite the Lord into our lives, and to allow him to fill our hearts and our minds continually. If not, we open up ourselves to perhaps even worse things than we were doing before, or at least a worse situation than we were in before. And so it's important, whenever the Lord delivers us, and maybe he delivers us from some type of addiction, or he delivers us from some other type of satanic influence that's in our lives, where Satan has entrapped us or snared us, whatever the case may be. When the Lord delivers us, it's very important for us then to turn to the Lord, put him first in our lives again, fill our hearts with his Spirit, to be filled with the Spirit, and to walk according to the Spirit from that point on. Again, otherwise we might open ourselves up to worse things. And so hopefully this text will encourage us to be filled with God, to not leave the house unoccupied, but to have God there dwelling with us, dwelling in us, taking up full occupancy so that we can please him, and it will protect us from then being influenced by other things. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.